Calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's eyes. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said, come sisters, come and take back your child. This great.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to GBC Women with Words. We're here again on a Thursday evening. This is going to be a different show, different kind of show. Something that we didn't expect to do, but we're doing. So, want to welcome all of you. Want to encourage you to invite your friends and family to come. We have I can't even talk. But anyway, we're here. Hello, Atta.
What's up, Auntie? How you doing?
I am here. I
love the Bantu knots. Let's just get that out of the way.
I know, right?
Today, like you said, let's refer to it as a celebration of life.
Yes.
For an amazing man that would have been our guest today.
Yes. Very amazing. I want to make sure if you are a Liberian out there, American, Nigerian, whatever you are out there, I want you to please just come and join us so that we pay homage to this amazing Liberian man who went beyond all odds to do something that not many people will find themselves doing. So just for a little, with the short today is dedicated solely to Mr. Daniel Menyor. So some of the things that we normally do, we won't be doing today because this show is dedicated solely to him. The next hour, we're going to be talking to friends and family of Mr. Menyor. So, but before we talk about it, I also wanted to, just because during the week, I experienced something that was a bit difficult for me. So I met, I have not, and I wanted to also take a minute to just talk briefly about her. Because usually when we have people that we know or people in the Liberian community or people even in high positions, if they pass, we talk about them. So I wanted to talk about the Reverend Keturah York Cooper. I did not meet her physically. I have never had an opportunity to meet her. But she took me like a daughter. And at first, she actually got connected to me 3 years ago when I used to do the one-on-one GBC talk, political stunt stuff I used to do. And that's how she connected to me, and she became very fond of me. And she loved me. I mean, you know, when people love you and they show it to you, she will come, she will talk to me. I remember when I had COVID, she was calling me every day. She was checking on me and it just encouraging me, just telling me how proud she was. So when someone of that caliber dies and you don't have an opportunity to meet them to say, thank you for loving me, not even knowing me, it hurts. And during the time that we conversated, I was able to meet on the phone one of her daughters. She wanted to make sure that at least, if not all her children knew me. So talking to her daughter, and then I found it difficult to be able to call her to extend my sympathy. So yesterday morning, I reached out to her, and so what she said to me was, Glenda, mommy loved you. And it just really broke my heart that I didn't have an opportunity to meet someone who didn't know me personally, who had never seen me, but they loved me to the point that I felt it. And to her and to her children, a woman who was married to a man for 45 years. And I like to say 45 unbroken years, because sometimes when we talk, that's how she will say, it's been a long time, Glenn, 45 years. And one of the lessons she said was, and I said, and take care how you manage with that man. I've seen men for 45 long years. You didn't get tired? She'll say, listen, we agreed that every time we had a problem or a fight, we will restart. And if that you're wrong in our fight, that you don't want to initiate the restart. And we've done that. We were dedicated to that and committed to that. So to her family, I want to express my deepest condolences. I promised her daughter that I will be at the service here. There will be a service in Liberia in here. I don't care where they have the service, I will go there because I also want to make sure that I continue the connection with her children and the love that she showed me, even though she didn't know me. I want to make sure that I'm able to reciprocate those things to them and care for them too, as the mother did. So it's somebody that I got to know just from Facebook who took me as their own. So we're going to miss her, and we're going to miss everybody, more or less, is going to miss Keturah York. Everybody knew her. She's done so much. The African American Episcopal Church will miss her. Last year she ran for bishop. But I just wanted to make sure I gave a minute or so to her honor today to talk about her briefly. So welcome to the show. Of course, let me just say the most important thing I like to do is call my name. My name is Glenda Jane Juniors, and I'm here this evening with my co-host,
Agatha Joseph. Welcome.
Welcome everybody. Our show today is dedicated to David Menyor.
Daniel
Menyor, a Liberian man. He's decided to go back to help his people in the village in Riverside County, Liberia, Mowe District, Mowe. And we're going to be talking to him. I'm going to keep the flyer up because we have three important people who shared in his life that we're going to be bringing on the platform very shortly, two of them. The first one is Dr. Maya Atta. She is by phone. Hi, Maya. I hope everybody can hear Maya. We're happy that Maya could do this for us. We thank you for being here, Maya.
I'm happy to be here. I just hope you can hear me. I'm trying my best. I'm fighting the cold. I got an exam in the morning, but for Daniel and for you, Glenda, I'm doing this.
Thank you, Maya.
Welcome, Maya. We can hear her.
Okay.
Oh, great. I'm good. Hello, Agatha.
How are you, Doc? What's up?
I'm here. I'm pushing.
So glad to have you.
I'm going to welcome Beatrice Kanga Gray to the platform. Welcome, Beatrice.
Good evening. Again. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for being here. I was thinking about Beatrice last, and I said, "This someone. This is a third appearance, which she may as well just be guest co-host."
We got a seat for you, Beatrice.
Yes, we got a seat for you. We thank you that whenever we call on you, and we know we'll get into why we're here in your relationship later. And there's someone who's important, also who's here, that we'll probably go ahead and maybe we'll bring her on because I don't see her now right now on camera. We'll bring her on. We want to start the show. The show today is solely dedicated to Daniel. Everything about this show today is about him. So Agatha is going to start us off.
Right. So, Glendy reached out today and said that I will be reading
You're freezing. You're freezing.
Announcement, his death announcement on TLC. So for those of you who I'm doing different, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So all right. So I'll get started. So Daniel Blay Menyor was born on April 2nd, 1960, in the city of Tapeta, Nimba County, Republic of Liberia. He was the fifth of 11 children born to Daisy Popa Blay. After the demise of his father, Samuel Blay Boa, young Daniel and his siblings were cared for by Reverend Drew Francis Menyor. Daniel was raised and attended primary school in Gozon, Morwet District in Riverside County, Liberia, and received his high school education at William V.S. Tupman High School in Cinca in Monrovia. Daniel entered the workforce upon graduation from high school. He initially worked with the Daily Observer newspaper. After that, he worked as a bank teller with the National Housing and Savings Bank in Monrovia, Liberia. In 1984, during his employment, the opportunity presented itself to immigrate to America, where he pursued and earned his bachelor's and master's degree in business administration. While in college, Daniel was introduced to the love of his life, Sonia Bell of San Diego. Sonia Giselle Bell of San Diego, California. They married on June 13, 1987, and their union was blessed with 2 sons. Daniel worked with the California public school system for 28 years as a financial administrator, overseeing the finances of multiple school districts until his retirement in 2019. He continued part-time as a financial consultant for many school districts throughout California up to the time of his passing. Daniel was passionate about his family, his country of birth, and the pursuit of education. He greatly impacted the lives of friends, families, and other individuals. For example, while on vacation in Liberia, Daniel encountered 2 children standing by the road who were expelled from grade school due to lack of tuition fees. Daniel met the needs of those children by sponsoring their education each year through high school graduation. Years later, Daniel received a telephone call from one of those students who went to become a medical doctor in England. He thanked Daniel for investing in his education early in his life. That spontaneous compassion act set Daniel on a path to pursuing the vision God gave him to provide access to modern educational foundation. Through MEDF, and with the help of generous donors and members of the foundation, he was able to finance and build 2 modern educational facilities in his hometown of Bwenstown, where the children currently have access to free education, uniforms, and meals. Their resources were being provided resulted in the students of the Daisy Bopa Academy scoring the highest percentage nationwide on the recent West African Examination Council, WIEC of Liberia. His selfless work has impacted the lives of many children in Liberia and has inspired individuals from nations throughout the world. He humbly gave all glory and honor to the Lord God Almighty for using him in his work. I'm going to skip one paragraph here, but please feel free to go to TLC Africa and learn more about Daniel. On September 8, 2022, Daniel Blaye was called home from labor to internal rest. He was preceded in death by his parents, two sisters, Sarah Blaye and Marie Brown, and one brother, James Blaye. He leaves to cherish his memory, his wife of 35 years, Sonia Menyor, two sons, Jonathan and David Menyor, Kayla of San Diego, California, two grandchildren, Sage and Cora, six sisters, Nega and Viola Menyor of Liberia, Magdalene Blaye, May Blaye, Kenny of Renton, Washington, Joanna, Terry Zonwea, Henry, and Vera Menyor Ware of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Three brothers, David R. Blaye of Liberia, Andrew B. Menyor, and Bloje Shorter of Denver, Colorado, and a host of nieces, nephews, cousins, in-laws, and numerous church family and friends who loved him deeply and will miss him dearly.
Thank you, Agatha. I would like for all of us to just exercise a moment of silence. When you're hearing Agatha read and you're hearing that this person was selfless, he was indeed selfless. And to hear that almost 400 students benefited from his work, free school, free education, free food, free uniform, free books. And then they come out in 2022 and have the highest average in WAEC. This was not a school in Monrovia. This was a school in a village in a county. And he was very selfless. So we'll take a moment of silence to his memory for the work that he's done. May his soul rest in peace. We want to start off here with the picture of Sonia and Daniel. 35 years. 35 years. We want to say, since Sonia is watching, we want to thank you for being here with us.
Yep.
We feel humble that you could leave your morning bed to come and allow us to celebrate the life of your husband. So to you, says Sonia, 35 years, married to this wonderful man, to your children and to your entire family, on behalf of all of us here watching and on set, please accept our deepest sympathy for the loss of such a great man. We can only hope that his legacy, we all will do something to continue in his legacy. So thank you so much, Sonia, for being here from all of us here. I'm going to welcome now to the platform V. Hello, V.
Hi, V.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're going to, this is, if you're just joining us, you're watching GBC Women with Words. Today, we're here honoring a man, Daniel Menyor, who suddenly passed. We wanted to make sure that we had talked to him, followed him for 2 years. And finally, he agreed and gave us this date today to interview him. When I called him, he said, you can't get tired. I said, I can't get tired. What are you coming on the show? He said, let me call you back. I'm packing stuff right now. Let me call you back. I said, okay. And I called back. And then he said, I'm packing the containers to take it to Liberia. And I think October 6th will be good to talk because I would have probably been back from Liberia. Even if I'm there, you will be able to talk to some of the students. And the excitement was in his voice for the container. So V is here. We want V is the sister of Daniel. I want you to start off and just tell us about your brother.
I don't even know where to start from. But like in my Liberian English, I would say he was a people person. His whole life, all he wanted to do is to help other people. And that's what he did. And he said that was his calling, just to help people. And my mom had 10 kids. Out of the 10 of us, he made sure that 6 of us came to join him in the US. He came here in 1984. And one by one, he brought us, and 6 of us came and joined him. So it was 7 of my mother's children here in the US. And it was all because of Daniel.
Wow.
So what was he like growing up?
Growing up, he had the same character, caring, taking care of people. I remember when he brought my mom to the US, my mom told us a story that he was always looking out for her. So like when she goes on the farm and she forgets something, Daniel would pick it up and hold it in his hand, and he will walk behind mom until they get to the farm. And he won't give it to her till she start looking for it. She'll be like, I had this thing right here. Where did I put it? And then I'll be there. Here, you left it under the kitchen, and I knew you were going to need it when we get on the farm. So I brought it for you. That's the kind of person he was. He was always looking out for his family, his friends, other people. That's his whole life. And God bless him with a wife that never stopped him from doing anything like that. Not some
Beautiful.
people, they married a wife and the wife will say, oh no, you can't help your family no more. Oh no, you can't help anybody. Our sister-in-law, she was never like that. She let him do what he loved to do. And he did it until he took his last breath.
I got that. You got a question?
Yeah, I was just looking at the text message I got from him on Facebook. And the first time I heard his name, a friend of mine said, Friend, you got to get this man on this show. And this is the guy I was telling you about that has the school in Riverside and does X, Y, and Z. And she went on and on and on and on. And when she first tagged me and I responded to him, I sent him a message and he said, oh, yes, Glennie had already talked to him and he sounded so excited. And every time I read that message, the song, If I Can Help Somebody, then my living shall not be in vain.
Yes.
And I never met him. I've chatted with him briefly, but I believe that's his legacy. So let me ask you this. When I don't know if you all plan to fill his shoes, you can probably never do because he was an individual that was so big in life and giving and all of that. How do you foresee carrying on this work that he started?
Right now, what we're doing as family is we're going to keep putting in what we can put in to keep up the school going. He also has some friends that are willing to help to continue going. But then I was speaking to his wife today. I'm looking at long-term planning. And so what we're thinking on is to invest in agriculture because we have lands upon lands in Liberia, especially in our hometown, is in the rainforest. So the land is there. So what we need is money to talk to the town chief or the district commissioner or the land commissioner and ask them if they can give us some land to buy When we buy that land, then we can invest in agriculture and maybe start with fast crops, maybe like cassava, plant cassava, make gari and sell it, or planting potatoes, peanuts. We start with those little things because they come up faster and they can make money fast. And then as we go on, then we can do like rubber, cocoa, coffee, and stuff like that to sustain the school. Because right now, we have friends. Right now, everybody in high gear, they want to help, and they're helping. But what happened 4 to 5 years from now? Will everybody still be willing to help? Or if I was Daniel's friend and I was helping, if something happened to me, like what happened to Daniel, will my children step in to still help? So that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I've been talking to all the other family members to talking to them so we can invest into agriculture, and everybody is willing to do that. So that's what we're working on.
Thank you so much, Fee. So let me shift my next question to Beatrice.
So I want to
But
also talk to Maya since she's under the weather
oh,
and
I'm
she's
sorry, I
here.
did forget
Yeah,
Maya. My
yeah.
apologies.
So I want to ask
Go ahead.
because B is here at her show. She's not going anywhere. So Maya, ladies and gentlemen, we are so privileged to have Dr. Maya Atta on here. She's not feeling well, but she would not miss this opportunity to come and tell us about her friend. When I reached out to Maya, she said, I've known Daniel for over 40 years. Long time. So Maya is on the phone. She's gonna tell us about the man Daniel that she knew from Liberia Old Road and their relationship and his musical background. If you go on this man page, every minute he's singing an old song. So Maya, tell us a little bit. Thank you for doing this and welcome to GBC. Please talk to us about Daniel.
It's my pleasure to be here. Sister, I want to say my condolences to you and your family, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Daniel was my next door neighbor. From my bedroom, I kid you not, from my bedroom, I was able to see Daniel sitting at that drafting table when he was at Tubman High School studying. 3-4 o'clock in the morning, that's where Daniel was. Okay, and that's the kind of person he was as it relates to how important education was to him. I was probably, when we moved to Gaytown, I was probably about 10 or 11 years old. And like I said, he was my next door neighbor. Always very friendly, always like a guiding northern star, like a big brother to me. I didn't have any brothers, but he always looked out for me and my younger sister. He used to come by the house. I saw Daniel every day. We went to Providence Baptist Church together. We sang in the choir. This was the person who, even up to, I think probably the last time I did it was maybe a year or two ago, I would call Daniel. When the song came to me, I would call Daniel and we would start singing songs. So the last one was Repete, the song that was done by Hedzilla Sounds and Hugh Masekela. So I called Daniel. I said, Shona 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 now. Here goes Daniel. Awe mio repete. That was just the kind of relationship that we had. It was long standing. I came back to the U.S. in 1983. Daniel came in 1984. He happened to, at that time, my father was working for the Detroit Department of Transportation as an inspector on the bus lines. And it was cold and snow on the ground. And what my father used to do at that time is that he would go, it was kind of like the, what they call them, secret shoppers, where they would get on the bus lines to see what the bus drivers were doing, and evaluate them. My Daniel saw my father across the street somewhere, God knows where in Detroit. Mr. Atta, Mr. Atta. You know, I mean, and it was, like I said, it was just like he was a part of our family. We used to listen to music. Daniel, you know, introduced me to jazz artists. You know, he just meant that much to me. Now, as it relates to that school in Moorhead, I cannot express to you the level of enthusiasm he had in his voice when he talked about that school and about what it meant to him. You know, from the minute he started, from the minute that he, you know, was putting his own money into this, you know, and I don't, you know what, I really honestly, I think if he had had to do this all by himself all the time, he would have done it, because that's just what it meant to him. It's just what it meant to him. You know, so he would say to me, Little Maya, that's what he called me, Little Maya, believe it or not. He said, Little Maya, this is important to me. I have to do this. You know, I got to do this. These are my children from my district. You know, that was the way that he felt about it. And as it has to do with the agriculture, as his sister was saying, you know, that was one of the things that he was really enthused about. He did talk about cocoa and coffee and that kind of stuff. We had that conversation 20 years ago. 20 years ago. This is not something that he had in his mind day before yesterday. It's been there. It has been there, and it's been something that was important to him. You know, he designed that building. He designed that building. That building that's on the flyer that you had there. He designed that building. You know, so that was that. There was a lot of stuff we went. The night of the coup in 1980, Daniel and I were together. We were together. That was the night, and I don't know if many people remember this. April 11th, 1980 was the night that the Liberian Baptist Convention celebrated their 100th year anniversary. Daniel and I were in that choir together. We were there when President Talbot gave the last speech that he gave in his life. We were there. When we heard the gunshots, we thought they were firecrackers. We didn't know what was going on. We were there. He and I were there together. That's how long it's been. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
So believe me when I say to you, this one hit me hard. It hit me different. It hit me different. You know, and sister, again, I say to you, I just want you to know, I loved your brother like he was my brother. And I appreciate everything that he has done. And I'm extending my heart and my love to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maya. We know you're not feeling well, but we appreciate that you could take the time off to come and talk to us about Daniel, your brother. We're gonna let you go. You can continue to watch and be in the comments. But we appreciate you. The fact that this meant a lot to you. And when I called, she said, "Of course, for Daniel, I will do this." So thank you so much. Thank you so
sorry
much.
for your loss, Maya, and thank you for coming on.
And thank you for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to say what I wanted to and needed to say. And also, Sonia, I'm glad I had the chance to talk to you and listen, you know, and I've said this to be privately and I'll say it publicly. I don't think that we realized that we knew each other back then. Because there were things that we participated in together and did not realize at that time, you know, that we were participating in these things together. Youth for Christ, that was at the Monrovia City Hall. You know, there was a place in town called Coffee House where we used to go and just, play games and fellowship and that kind of stuff. And I was there, and Dee was there, and Daniel was there. And, some of you might remember Faith, Hope, and Love Trio, and they was there. There were things that we did together that we didn't realize at that time. So Dee, I'm sending you a big hug too, my girl.
All right.
I'm gonna log off now, but I'm gonna continue this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say
Thank you,
how
Maya.
I felt about this.
Thank you,
Thank
Maya.
you for
Thank you so
sharing.
much. All righty. That was Dr. Maya Atta, a friend. Did you hear the age? She said how long ago? 11. She was 11 years old.
Yeah.
So we I mean, it's a loss for everybody. So let's talk to. Go ahead, Agatha, and start
Yeah.
question. It would be.
So let's start with B. So B, again, my sympathy to all of you. I can't even imagine what you all are going through. So tell us a little bit about your relationship and what role you've played in Daniel's life.
I'm sitting here. I can't believe that we're talking this, but it's
Yeah.
just seemed like, yesterday I was talking to Daniel, and then we're sitting here trying to talk about Daniel's memory. It's just surreal. But Daniel was a special human being. He was just a special human being. Daniel's father was my uncle, Uncle Dromeo, and he was the district pastor in Moe when for my father's church that was established, Worldwide Missions. And Uncle Dromeo was the person who had all of the authority, even though my father established this church. But my father always looked up to him. He would not make any decision without Daniel's father. And the relationship with Daniel, it was through the church. Like Maya said, we grew up in the church. And everything we did was to build our moral values. When I spoke to Daniel, he said, one of the things that I want to do in Moe, Cousin B, what was it, Cousin B? He said, it's not just education. But what is wrong in Liberia is that our children don't have moral values anymore. So that's why the first thing I built was a church.
Mm.
He said, you remember when we go to Youth for Christ and we go to Bible study, sometimes we didn't really understand it, but they were building, our fathers were building foundation for us so that we would know right from wrong, so that we would know how to respect our elderly and, and be kind to people. We would know that when we're doing something that is bad, our conscience would tell us that this is wrong. That was our moral value that been built, and that this is what I want to instill into these children, not just the education, so that they will have the whole package. So sometimes I wonder where will another Daniel be?
Mm.
Because we can raise money to pay the teachers and we can
Mhm.
educate the children, but who's going to spend that time to build that moral foundation? That was what he wanted to do. I know and that was the clear vision he had. He said, "This is I get this vision. It's clear, Cousin B." I remember on his post, his birthday, he wrote on there. He said, "God sent me on planet Earth 62 years ago." He said,
Mm.
mission was to impact the lives of underprivileged children. And he said it took 50 years starting 2010.
Wow.
And he went on with that. And he said, I have a clear vision. And that vision is to fight illiteracy in Liberia.
Mm.
He said, that's my clear vision. And he was so excited about it. He knew what to do. His plans were so huge for the children. I mean, the last day before he died, the day before he died, I remember he was in the store purchasing he had his DVDs because the next step now was to do computerized learning. So he had uh, 20 computers, not computer or TVs, flat screen TVs that he was shipping because he wanted digital learning. So he bought all these DVDs. I mean, physics and geometry and all of that. And he said phonics, and he said, Cousin B, the children will learn plenty of book. Look at all of these things that I have. Every time he talked about education, it's like a love fest with him. He just loved. He was just a great educator. He loved it, and he loved that the kids were just being educated. He loved that. I remember I was on vacation. He called me, and I didn't pick up the phone because I was enjoying myself. And I said, "Oh man, what Daniel calling me for?" So I picked up the phone. I called him back, returned his phone, and he said, "You want to know the news? You want to know the news?" I said, "What news?" He said, "First of all, why you didn't pick up the phone?" So I said, "Look, Daniel, I'm on vacation, man. Leave me alone." He said, "The kids passed. All the kids passed the Wyatt. I want to tell you this." Oh my God, he was so excited. He said, "The children learning, they are learning. And this shows that they're learning." Yeah, he was so excited. And he said, the next step is academic excellence. So I said, "But what do you mean by academic excellence? Already passed. Isn't that academic excellence?" He said, "I wanted to do."
I know that's right.
He said, "Because I'm not taking 80, I'm not taking 90, I'm taking 100%."
Wow.
So he was
Amazing.
so excited. He was
amazing.
going to establish to bring the school up to 11th grade, and he had all the curriculum. He had already built another foundation for the 11th grade to expand, and then he had the desk. The desk, 400 desks were donated to him. And he called me and said, "Cousin B, you got to pull strings so we can send these desks." So I said, "Why did a string from to pull to send this?" I said, "Why did a string from to pull to send these desks?"
Yeah.
And we pulled the strings, and he packed the container that day. And he called me and said, "The containers are packed." And he said, "They're ready to go." And he was so excited. Yeah, he has plan. He has such great plan for the kids, and what he wanted to do. He was clear about it. I remember he was somewhere in Liberia. It was at a creek, and he called me. I said, "Daniel, what are you doing in the creek?" He said, "Cousin B, this is where we're going to build a dam for the electricity. You don't know that?" But he has such big dreams.
Yes.
Such big dreams. I know we're talking about Daniel, but I just want to acknowledge Sonia tonight.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for Sonia, none of this would have happened.
Yes.
None of this would have happened. So I pray every day for Sonia, and I thank God for Sonia for allowing Daniel to do this, and for our children in Liberia. And I pray that this legacy will continue. It's not an easy thing, but that's God's will. I told God, I said, "You know what, this is your will, but I don't accept it." I said, "I don't accept it, but it is your will." And when I spoke to Sonia, she said, "All I'm doing now is trusting God, because I don't understand it.
Yes.
Neither do I, neither do V. None of us understand it."
Yeah.
In the midst of his work, he was called home, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's sometimes it's so hard to understand. Someone in the prime of their life is doing so well, and then they just get snatched away.
Yeah.
Snatched away. We know it's a difficult time for the family, for his son, and it's like you said, that the like, just like says V said, the praise, the commendation first goes to his wife, to allow him to do what he did.
Yes.
And all that he did, and even though his life was cut short, impacting for almost 400 children lives. What else could be that? I
Yeah.
want to talk. I want
It,
to ask sis. I gotta hear something.
no, I'll wait. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask sis V. How do you comfort sis Sonia? How do you comfort her? What do you say after 35 years? You're on mute.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I I can I can. There's no word to tell her, to comfort her. So what I do is we all call her every day or every other day. We call her, we text her, we check on her, and then we just encourage her to keep holding on. And she's a woman of God, because she's the longest I remember she been a Sunday school teacher, and she grounded in the things of God, and so she know the word. So that alone will help to comfort her. But there's nothing else we have to tell her that the Bible doesn't have to tell her. And so we just ask her, we just encourage her to hold on to what she have, which is the truth from the Bible, that will comfort her, and that's what she's been doing.
Okay. I just want to say that to those of you, everybody's watching. I've actually pinned the Cash app at the bottom. That's where if you want to make donations, I mean, we'll continue to follow Daniel and follow Sis Sonia and follow because we want to be able to help with the school in Riverside. Whatever we can do, every little bit counts. So we will periodically get messages. Of course, B will keep us aware. When Sis Sonia, if whenever you're ready, we're here. Whenever you're ready, we're here. This platform is now your platform. Whatever information you want out there to the school, to the people of Liberia, to the people of America, to everybody listening, to follow, because we want to be able to follow his legacy and be able to help to continue what he has done. So the Cash App is there, it's pinned. It is $MORWEHEDF1, the Cash App. So if you want to make donations now, you can. It's the foundation. It's going to be going there. This is authentic. This was the Cash App that was sent by Sis Sonia. So whatever, you don't have to make it now, but just I hope that you're led to want to do this because this was one of a kind. I want, if Agata, if you have something to say, you can say. We can go to Agata to say, and then B, and then we want to read some tributes that we found that friends had written about Daniel as we come to the end of the show.
So I do know that his wife Sonia is listening, and
Mhm.
I just want to direct this to you. I was reading her comments. She said she's in tears, and and I
So,
cannot imagine what you are going through. But what I do know is that your husband has left an impact on not only the children of the school, the teachers of that school, the parents of those children that attend that school, and that entire community. Hence, he's impacted a nation. When I look at the physical building of the school today, it's better than most schools I've seen in the capital city today.
yes.
Um, when I listen to the accomplishments of the students passing the WIAC exam,
First time.
that in itself is something to be extremely proud of. So, on behalf of not only this show, but not only the people of Riverside, but the people of Liberia, we thank you for being that partner wife to your
Yes.
husband. We
Yes.
thank you for allowing your husband to continue to love where he comes from. We thank you for being you and allowing him to be him. We will continue to pray for you and your family. We I looked forward to meeting Daniel after hearing so many wonderful things about him while he was alive. But I'm even more honored to listen to people still talk great things about him after his passing. So please extend our sympathy, and we will continue to pray for you and your family.
Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Sis Sonia, I'm gonna try to make you at least smile. He was handsome, you know.
Liberia man fana.
He fine, Sis Sonia. That man was fine. But that was Daniel. And this is also the students and the school. And of course, 35 years of marriage, Daniel and Sonia. So we're now going to go to a few tributes that we wanted to read some. I'll start with Alex. And I'll say that Alex, this tribute here, Alex actually wanted to be on the show today, but had, when we spoke, he talked about how Daniel was his good friend. That's how he described Daniel. And it reads, I lost a friend September 9, 2022, Daniel Menyor, a good friend, a very thoughtful person. He visited my mother every visit he made to Liberia as if he was one of her sons. That was Daniel. Family to everyone he was friendly with. I will miss his calls and conversations. Daniel, a child of God who has met his Father in heaven. You made yourself a part of his story and impacted the lives of many. And thank you, Lord, for the life of Daniel. I'll read the second one from Alex and then we'll go to someone else. And the second one said, from Alex Peabody, says, Daniel Menyor, a friend full of surprises. He shocked us all on the 8th of September 2022, running ahead to be with the Lord. He would always visit my mother. I think it's a similar thing.
They're brothers.
Yes. So he loved Daniel. When I spoke to him just before the show, we talked and he said, thank you all for doing this. Daniel is somebody that can never be replaced. So I'll pull one up and Akata you can read, and then we'll go to B to read. The next two Akata you can read.
Helen Harris writes, there's no greater sacrifice than one who gives his time and resources to the service of others. Daniel exemplified this through his assistance to Liberian students, a few of whom I know personally. Dear Sonia and family, thank you for sharing your spouse, dad, grandpa, and brother with us. Dedra Heron Slack writes, my favorite times with Daniel were shared listening to music and him telling stories. I will never forget those special times we shared for our love of music. Daniel also gave me my first desktop computer lesson. May he rest in heavenly peace. We love you, Sonia and family.
B, I don't know if you can see that.
Yes, this is from Edwin. Edwin writes, Daniel, I spoke to you briefly as you were boarding your flight. Later that day, you sent me some pictures of a canoe in Moet. The next day, I was planning on calling, but the day went by, and later that night, I started seeing posts that you were gone. I could not believe it. I believe I called your phone and then inboxed Maya. I could not sleep that night. I listened to George Benson in your honor. Man, life is not fair. You made an impact in life, brother. I was so proud of you and what you and Mrs. Menyor have done for those kids. I told you I hope a book is written about you. Sleep well.
Next one, B.
And Jeremiah Menyor God, my cousin, I am still in shock. All of our talks about the family history book. Man, I am proud of your achievements. Rest till we meet. God will uphold Sonia and the family.
And I'll go to this one. I don't want sis B. We never finish our long conversations on Liberia history. And I never get to go with you to the school. Yet I got the friendship of a kind, generous, patriotic, and humble man. A gentle giant who went about his work without fanfare or expectation of a reward. A kind soul gone too soon. We mourn your passing and we honor your work for Liberia's future. May God guide your home and may the angels welcome one of their own. My Daniel. Agatha, next month. We're almost done.
So I was Daniel's office manager at OUSD for about 5 years before he left for a better position. During that time, getting to know Daniel and his working style, and also learning that he was a born again Christian, he immediately became my brother. He was so easy to work with. It is easy to work for someone who has the spirit of excellence and great work ethics. Daniel managed an entire team and millions of dollars that he did reporting to the state and county. You have to know your stuff because one mistake could be very costly.
Mhm.
Daniel had no problem sharing his faith. After a meeting in his office, and I don't even know how we got to the subject, Daniel began teaching me and the other person about the first four books of the Old Testament and why they had slightly different accounting of Jesus' life on earth. I told him that he should be a pastor because of the way that he held our attention and made us want to hear more. There were times that Daniel and I had to pray for each other in his office when the enemy was busy. It is a wonderful feeling to be able to pray with your boss on one accord. I had to pause there because I could have used that. I love coming to work. Not only was Daniel a great boss, he was so humorous and fun, crazy even. I have always said that when I was reassigned under his leadership, it was the best and in my career working with Daniel. I've been married for almost 4 years, and when Daniel met my husband to be, I said, I can't see this, Glendy.
Can't see it either.
All right, so we'll we'll leave it at that.
Okay. B, can you see it so we can just
No.
No, it stops
all right.
at I said.
Yes,
It cuts
yes.
out.
Yeah, I think it was too long. So
Yeah.
the last one reads, my condolences goes out to you and your family at this time. He was one of my favorite pastors, a man of God, and I learned a lot from his homegoing. He's going to be missed, and God bless you and your family. Those are some of the many tributes that were written out there in Daniel's memory. Um, Before we close, we will ask Sis V if she has any closing comments, anything you want to say. Just like we said, anything you all need us to share. If you start a project for the school and you need a platform, this platform is yours. You can come on. Sis Sonia, whatever you're working with and you want us to help promote it, we're here for you. We hope that you can feel all of the virtual hugs. It is also very important. It was very important for us today to keep this appointment, whether he was here or not. Very important. So, Sis V, if you want to give closing comments before we go to B and then we'll end.
Oh, the I think it was today or yesterday. I was also talking to B Another thing that I have in the pipeline is for us to do a memorial service for him in Liberia. And
Okay.
so I would need help with planning that, because he
Yeah.
was member of the Provident Baptist Church. So we need connection on booking a hall, booking a date that would be good for everybody to have, money to go back home to do that service. Booking maybe a hotel for people that would come so that they will have discount to go there, and order that food and everything else. And so that's one of the things I'm planning. I already talked to Sonia about that, and she's with me. She says she's willing. She will come with us when we plan that. She will come with us, and we'll come to Liberia
So
and
let
do that.
me let me just commit the pastor of Providence Baptist Church to you
Mm-hmm.
all. I
Okay.
did speak with him prior to coming. He will get in contact with Sis Sonia. He
Okay.
spoke when I called him and talked to him. In fact, the Providence Baptist Church actually posted a proclamation
Yes.
about Daniel's death and the man that he was.
Okay.
So
Wow.
once we get off here, I will connect with Sam, Pastor Sam, and he will be getting in contact with Sis Sonia so that you all can plan the service. Providence Baptist Church people, they're waiting to hear from you all.
Okay.
They will assist you all the way.
And you
So
you can give my information to him.
yeah.
So I
I
can
mean, he
contact him.
actually told me that he stayed with Sis. He knows Sis Sonia.
Yeah, he does.
He stayed with them one time in California. So I will
He's a
give him your
very close friend to
information.
Daniel too.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so he will be calling you and calling Sis Sonia. I finished committing now, so that one that I Beatrice, thank you.
Yes, I'm just gonna leave with just one line of a song of one of Daniel's favorite song, and if you don't mind, just one line.
Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Happiness is to
To
be forgiven, Jesus and me in close relation,
know
having a life that is worth living.
happiness
Happiness
is
is the Lord.
the Lord. Yes, those are the all ditties.
Yeah.
And so, Agatha, we've come to the end of this show. Says Sonia, we thank you for watching. We extend our condolences to you and your children. Again, like Agatha said, I mean, all that she said, we shared it. Your husband, sharing your husband with the world, was so selfless. And we thank you for doing that. Sis V, we thank you. We're so honored. It's like we were planning, we didn't know
Hmm.
that this was what would happen today. We didn't know that Sis Sonia will be able to watch
Yeah.
and that his sister will be on.
Yeah.
And that Liberians will also be on watching and sharing in the comments. And that is like there's not one thing that you will say that people will not heal the man Daniel Menyor. So we want to say to the family, we're so sorry, so sorry. Um, and I just read Sis Sonia's last comment here. She said, "Beautiful show. Thank you for sharing Daniel's story. You're welcome. You're welcome. I We're gonna bid you all now, but
Thank you.
please, you have our contacts. 6V. So Sonia, you have our contact. Get in contact with myself, Agatha, or even with B if you can reach us. And whatever you need us to do, we will do that. Agatha, anything closing before they leave?
Yeah, so it just speaks volume of the man Daniel was. While he was alive, people were hailing him a good man. In his death, they're doing the same. So rest well, my brother. Y'all have my sympathy. And in my
Thank you.
original Liberian English, you're normal.
You're
Normal.
normal.
You're
You're
normal.
normal.
Thank
Say
Namaya,
you.
Sonia, normal, yeah?
Cecilia. Namaya, Mama.
Thank
Normal,
you. Thank
mama.
you. Thank
You're
you so
normal.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Granny. Thank you,
Thank
Thank
you,
Agatha.
you.
V.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Sis
much.
V.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Maya still, Dr. Maya. Maya is still watching. Thank you. And
Thank you,
thank you,
Maya.
Beatrice. All righty. Wow.
What a man.
Yes. Yes. What a man
His
indeed.
living was not in vain.
Yes.
He came, he did what he had to do, and he did it well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much so that people were singing his praises alive and still singing his praises in death.
Yeah.
My heart just goes out to all of his family and friends. I can't even imagine what they must be going through. I didn't know him personally, but I feel a sense of loss. There was something you said, I don't know, you said it or I can't remember who said it now, but it's such a loss for Liberia. Such a
Yes.
good man doing good things. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden, I almost want to ask, it almost want to make me ask,
Why?
God, God, what did
Why?
Liberia do? You know, why would you take such a good son from us so early? It's just so I can't comprehend. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So we don't get it, we'll never get it, but it just hurts. It just hurts when somebody is just vanished, just like that.
Yeah.
But we have hope that we will meet again. So to Daniel's family, to Sis Sonia and everybody, we want to say thank you so very much
Yes.
for allowing us to share your husband of 35 years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our hearts go out to you. Before we go, next week's guest, let me just share next week's guest. Next week is also Breast Cancer Awareness Thursday.
I
Actually,
wore my pink today. Let me just put it out there. Y'all can
I
see it, but I did have on pink.
I see. I thought it was white actually,
Stop
but
playing. It's pink.
but okay. But anyway, next week Thursday is when the world is celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Day.
I
So
celebrated all month.
she will be here again with her pink on. We will be here. But our guest next week is someone very important. Everybody that comes to the show,
I'm gonna tell everybody you're important, man.
everybody
Yeah,
important.
I must say important now. Ain't it?
The fact that you can take all your time and come here, you are
Yes.
important. So
Very
next week we'll be
important.
celebrating shortly breast cancer, but we're gonna be introducing this formidable young man, Abel Griel, a Liberian shoes designer. He's gonna be
Shoemaker.
here next week. These are all of his products. He's gonna be telling us about his shoes, how he started, where he started from. We are excited. And the interesting thing I wanted to say this is that sometimes it's like I don't know, it's either that they catch Agatha first or they catch me first. And then when by the time I don't have the time, it's like they'll catch me a day or two, and then I know, and I'm planning, and we already may have did it. Agatha was like, Auntie, you need to can you contact with that person, or we need to get this person. I said, oh, I already got, because I didn't have the time to share, but this is how we came upon Abel. I saw him and immediately reached out, and then a couple of other people reached out to Agatha for us to bring him on the show. So we're looking forward to him coming next week.
Yes, we are
Excited,
looking forward.
excited to talk to this young man who's making shoes, what we can do to promote him and all of that. We also want to highlight the people this week in their pink. All these women send their pictures. If you want your pictures to be shown here next week, there's some people picture that are not there, but that's okay. My own picture there because I sent
I
my
got on
picture.
pink. You just didn't put my picture on. I don't know. I may need to talk to our publicist. This is not
I
fair.
know, right? So we want to highlight all these beautiful women in pink. And this one gentleman, he was the first gentleman to post his pink picture, and is none other than the CEO, Lord Blake Carrington.
Oh, okay. I couldn't recognize the picture.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is it. We're done, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope we've been able to honor the legacy of Mr. Menyor today. And thank you, everybody, for being on the show. Until next week, Thursday. Come so you can help. Eba, let me go into Kolokwa. Come here so you can order shoe from Liberia.
Not only that though, it's so good to learn from this young man, because we have this mindset in Liberia that everybody must go to college.
Mhm.
Everybody don't have to go to college.
Mhm.
We need people in trade. So I'm really
Trade.
excited to speak
Mhm.
and learn about what this young man is doing. So
Okay.
yeah.
So until next time, and still Sonia is still here sticking with us to the end. We appreciate you. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, we might come to California to visit you. We'll
We
see.
love road trips.
Yeah, we're checking on you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Until next week, Thursday, same time, same place. We'll be here talking to Abel Greer, a young Liberian shoemaker. Thank you, everybody.